Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando, that's Corey, and today we're doing 1996's Lying Eyes. Before we get started, if you want to follow me or Corey on Twitter, you could follow me at Junior D's, you could follow Corey at Corey_idol. As always, you could follow the show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok for now at Kiss the Reviews.
Not gonna get us, China.
Does TikTok access the home Wi-Fi network?
He's
Only
stealing my
people that can
information.
spy on Americans are Americans, you son of a bitch. China.
Exactly.
Fuck out of here, man.
So let's get into the cast of Lying Eyes. This film stars Cassidy Rae as Amy Miller, Vincent Irizarry as Derek Bradshaw, and Allison Smith as Jennifer.
More like Vincent Irresistible, am I right, ladies?
Okay, a couple of things just before we get started and into like the whole scenes and all that stuff. I told you before we started recording that this was just from the visuals, this was a very 90s. It looked like a 90s TV movie, period.
Yes.
But in that, Derek, the creeper, is the most 90s like heartthrob creeper guy that has ever existed. Like, that's the casting director. I wanted to see the room, the audition room, like the waiting room, and everybody wall to wall just looks like the same haircut, that same like jawline.
Yeah, like I'll get to my PSA after my comment, but that casting room was exactly two people. It was this guy and then the bad guy from The Bodyguard. And that is literally my PSA, is the exact same from The Bodyguard.
Corey's life lessons.
Hi, guys and gals. Uncle Corey here. If you are being hit on or seduced or approached, or even like, let's just say he's pumping your gas, that guy with that face is a bad guy.
Yes.
He always is. And
Yep.
I don't need to know you personally. I don't need to see your family. Like, oh no, in real life, he's a good guy. No, he's not. This character and the actor are probably terrible people.
And they always buy you lingerie for special occasions.
Do you like it?
How many movies do we got to do from like the 80s and 90s where that's a present? Here's some lingerie. And they, like, okay, we'll get to it. But they, like, literally, that was the first time they had hung out. And the bitch buys her lingerie. Like, if that's a thing, you go running.
That's big dick energy if it ever exists. Like, my first date with an 18-year-old girl, I'm 30-something. Here's a dope-ass set of lingerie from Fredericks of Hollywood, because that was big in the 90s. And you have zero qualms about throwing that out there.
Hell yes.
Fredericks of Hollywood was smushed in between, like, Structure and American Eagle in the mall.
This was way before Spencer sold dildos.
This movie opens at a high school basketball game as the high school girls' performance at halftime is happening, and Derek Creepshaw, a 33-year-old lawyer, can't take his eyes off of Amy Miller, who is one of like the dancers / cheerleaders.
And we all get to feel like Derek Creepshaw too during this opening montage, because they focus in on these fucking cheerleaders' white underwears. And it's not like
far too much.
It's not like, no, they're wearing the cheerleader shorts. No, these are white cotton panties, bitch. It's aggressive.
Well, they're putting you in Derek's perspective. They're giving you his POV, and he's like, God damn, look at them white cotton panties.
I nutted in my pants just like Derek did too.
After the basketball game, right? She's on her way home. She gets rear-ended by none other than Creepy Creeperson, And he says that they don't have to get insurance involved. He'll pay for the damage to her car because he's got a guy. And he's got a guy, and I gotta don't do that.
Don't do that, it's not good for you.
Hi, literally everybody who drives a car owns a car. You are now driving, you get rear-ended, right? I don't care who the guilty party is in this accident. The minute somebody says, let's not get insurance involved, call the fucking cops, the paramedics, get everyone involved, because that bitch, A, has got something to hide, and B, has got a ton to lose.
Yeah, like I'm 90% sure this is like a Ted Bundy move.
Yes.
Don't play this game whatsoever. And by the way, ladies and men, because there are a lot of fucking creepers out there that prey on young boys and girls equally that are not Catholic.
I was gonna...
When there are certain cues that these psychos are picking up, trust me, I know. And one of them is like, oh no, my mom's going to be so pissed at me.
Yes.
One, your mom's not going to be pissed at you for something that wasn't your fault. Get the insurance information like an adult. But
yeah.
Two, this is where Creeperson's like, oh great, now I can throw out some of my fucking I got a guy game. And this is literally where it all unravels, because his guy is an accomplice to this, because they fucking pimp this bitch's right out like she's fucking like their exhibit. This is out of fucking control.
He's like, I fixed your bumper, and guess what? There's TVs in the headrests.
Pew, pew, pew. Get the fuck out of here.
There's a fish tank in the trunk. So she goes here to the garage to pick up her car. Exhibit comes out of the fucking back. He's like, oh, you got a new CD player and 18 fucking big screen TVs. And Derek, just as a coincidence, shows up. You know, Derek and the breadfish.
I hope those aren't too old-fashioned. I heard the one with Hootie and the breadfish is really hot.
And he asks her to dinner. So they go to dinner, and this is like where their relationship begins. Again, another thing that we talked about before we recorded. And we typically don't talk a lot about these movies before we record. But the one thing, outside of it being a very 90s movie, is at least the writers made her 18 in this. Like,
yeah,
she's not 16 or 14, like a Fresh Horses. This isn't a Fresh Horses kind of situation. It's still kind of gross, but at least it's not, at least she's a legal adult at this point.
Yeah, can I just offer this real quick?
Corey's life lessons.
Hi, screenwriters and any kind of writers telling a fictional story. It is universally accepted at this point that a college professor and a younger student will probably have an affair. And the age, if you do it correctly, matches up not quite as well, but more of an acceptable level where maybe the girl is just trying to experiment and trying to figure herself out and what she likes, and this fucking sleazeball is around. For the sake of this movie, you could have done that and lost nothing.
Yes.
Nothing at all. And it still would have been creepy. So again, yes, she is 18. Yes, she's legal. But she's in fucking high school, dog.
Yeah.
Quit writing these fucking high school girls getting mixed up with people their father's age. It's never gonna happen.
I'm gonna tack on to that before I'm gonna cut you off.
Okay.
I'm just gonna throw this in there real quick. Hey, writers, quit telling on yourself. Okay?
Hell yes.
To Armando's point, yeah, just stop writing these fucking little girls in these scenarios.
Yeah.
And I understand too, like, oh, her dad left. Cool. I get it. Girls go through that shit all the time. Guys go through that shit all the time. Let me offer this PSA then to the real life people without a mommy or daddy.
Corey's life lessons.
Hi, bastards. Uncle Corey here. No amount of dick is bringing them back. It had nothing to do with you. So just stop trying to fill that hole with dick, because it ain't happening. Ever.
After this, so they go to dinner, their like relationship starts, yada yada. They get back to his place. He gives her his lingerie present and she puts it on. They make out and bang or whatever they do, and there's someone peering at them through the window. In the very 90s, like this was again a very cliched 90s director's shot. Like,
oh yeah,
we're gonna get the camera, and then you could see like the camera like going over the leaves and the trees, and like these shots were like so 90s. It was fucking brilliantly hilarious.
Oh yeah, because they all look like fucking like Michael Myers with Bell's palsy. Like, could you have any worse of a Steadicam? Like the Steadicam is missing multiple screws. That's all I'm saying.
We cut to her. She starts missing cheerleading practice to hang out with Derek at his beach house. And, you know, we get shots of like her and her mom. Her mom is like a real estate agent and she doesn't pay attention to her daughter. And there's a whole thing going on there. And after practice one day, Amy's friend Dana tells her that some lady was walking around school asking about her, and they find that her leather jacket was shredded in her locker by somebody. And so now Amy's got this stalker that's after her.
Now, this is another thing that very much dates this movie.
Yes.
Is just some random redhead woman's wandering around school asking questions about a student. And they're like, oh yeah, here's plenty of information about her. And you walk into the locker room and shred her jacket to shit.
We also see here, after another dinner with Derek, you know, Amy drives home and so does Derek. And we see that he's married with kids. And the next day, I know, right? And the next day, Amy's mom tells her that she found this serial killer letter in the mailbox with lingerie saying that your daughter is a whoring slut. I got a question for you here. Who's writing these notes? Because it's not Derek's wife. At this point, my first suspect is Reagan from The fucking Exorcist. Who uses the term whoring slut?
You know what she did? Your canting daughter?
Look, I know eventually we're going to get to the point where one of us has a stalker, and I'm telling you right now, if you send us a bullshit letter like that, we're fucking done. I am going to ridicule you to no end.
Corey's the only one that could get a stalker and then ridicule their grammar.
I'm going to make my stalker commit schmooicide.
Corey's going to go to the cops and be like, here, I made a copy of this. You guys can have the copy. If you notice all the grammatical errors on this, there's no commas.
Yep.
They're using double negatives.
They are certainly not using ChatGPT.
Amy then confides in Dana's sister, Jen, that someone's messing with her. Jen's super supportive. And then throughout the movie, Amy goes to Jen quite a few times for advice on said stalker and these threatening letters and such.
Is that true?
While it's great that Amy has somebody she can feel she can go to and actually talk about this,
yeah,
Jen is being incredibly naive throughout this whole thing, where she's just like, well, who said breaking up is supposed to be, you know, a two-way street? He doesn't have a choice in that. It's like, bitch, I'm dealing with a fucking stalker here. Do you not understand the shit that is going down?
Well, no, I'm sure it won't be easy, but I think it'll definitely solve the problem.
Dude, anybody that's blasé like that, when you're like, hey, I got some shit breaking off, and they're like, I don't know. You should just be like, oh, you're doing it.
Yeah. Well, and this goes to the 90s writing in this. M. Night Shyamalan, this twist was not. Because the minute she sat down with Jen and Jen was like super supportive, I'm like, oh, she's the main stalker person.
Yeah. Like
there was no surprise to anything.
No, watch how this goes in real. I'm Amy, you're fucking Jen. Watch how this goes in real life, okay? Jen, He just won't leave me alone, and I've tried to break up with him multiple times. What should I do?
Fucking go to the cops. I got nothing else for you.
That's it. Great idea, Jen. Thank you. That's a smart move that now multiple people have told me what to do. And in real life, I'm going to the fucking cops. Now, be Jen in this movie. Jen, Derek won't leave me alone. What am I supposed to do?
Don't go to the cops. Like, that's the worst thing you could do. Your mom's gonna find out.
So you're the redheaded bitch that tore up my jacket.
I don't know what you're talking about.
See how that ends? Fucking and scene.
We then get, Derek taking Amy to like this little bed and breakfast place for like the weekend. The stalker's back to spy again. And then after breaking her bracelet, Amy takes it to where Derek bought it. She finds out that he bought two. He had one of them delivered, gave the other one to Amy. So she gets Derek's address. Now she finds out and she sees that he's married with kids. Dun, dun, dun. So she goes to Derek's law firm to confront him. He gives her the whole, our marriage has been over for a long time and I'm leaving my wife excuse. And after Derek begs a little bit, Amy decides to give him a second chance and apparently get banged in his law office while he's got a client in the next room.
Yeah, this
is so ridiculous.
It's absurd.
This is such a crock of shit.
Oh my God. So,
and I like how they tried to make Amy seem like she's so mature for a high school girl at the beginning of this movie. And it's like, no, you are quite possibly the dumbest person I have ever met.
She
literally the first guy that made you fucking come. And you just went, I'll do fucking anything he does. That makes a lot of sense. He's going to leave his wife.
Well, she looks mature for an 18-year-old because she's 28 in this movie, right?
Oh, yeah. No, look, in real life, that bitch is showing up to high school with a briefcase. She's so old.
Amy's mom then decides that she gives a shit all of a sudden. She attempts to ground Amy because her grades are slipping and she's changed and she's not the same old Amy anymore. So whatever.
You can't ground me, Mom. You're never here, Mom.
That grounding lasts all of 5 seconds because she goes, fuck you, Mom. And then she just leaves the room and then there's no grounding.
Yeah, you know why? Because Mom's not there. Mom's already off fucking trying to sell a house. You know why she's trying to sell a house? To put fucking food on the table and buy you more briefcases for your college year. You fucking bitch.
She then one day goes to pick up some takeout food. She meets Derek's wife as Derek and her are out for dinner. The wife asks her to sit down with them so that she can ask her about high school. And then she just starts to lean into Amy about divorce. And my husband's a divorce attorney and we'll never get divorced. So obviously she knows that you're banging her husband.
Yeah, that's obvious. For even Bell's palsy Michael Myers to pick up on. Like, that's very clear what she's trying to say.
So, this is the point of the movie where shit starts to go sideways, right? Mm-hmm. So, after Amy and her mom make up, her mom leaves her at one of the properties that she's selling to go to another appointment. As Amy waits for the no-show clients, the mysterious creeper gets into the house. Amy hears a noise upstairs, goes to check it out, finds a picture of her banging Derek with a knife stuck in it. And then finally, after confronting Derek again about being his mistress, Amy breaks it off and leaves. Cut to Amy in the girls' locker room sauna by herself after everyone in the entire school leaves. And someone comes in who has like mittens on, like winter mittens, and turns the temperature up and then locks her in. And Derek creepily is there to save the day.
This is where I start to get really confused because I'm just confused at who the actual bad guy is at this point. Because it's like, oh, you're a stalking piece of shit and this is super creepy. But also, thanks for saving my life.
Yeah. You know who he is? He is Mark Wahlberg, the beginning stages in Fear. He hasn't quite gotten to, hitting himself in the chest yet. Like, it's the beginning stages of Mark Wahlberg. Like, he's still finger banging on the roller coaster, Mark Wahlberg.
Yes.
So that's where he's at right now.
You were right.
Amy goes to admit everything to Derek's wife. and to tell her that Derek won't leave her alone, but she clams up, and Derek's wife calls her a slut, tells her to leave Derek alone. And then when Amy gets home, she sees that Derek is with her mom, meeting about a house that she's trying to sell. And when she walks him out and tries to break it off again, this is where he really starts going the Mark Wahlberg fear route.
Yeah, like he's not even listening because she's like, oh, hey, you know, your fucking wife, by the way, totally knows.
Yes.
And he's like, yeah, dope. You look fucking exquisite in them titties. And it's like, yo, you need to back off. Your fucking wife knows.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
Attractive woman, your mother. Actually, I can see where you get that fine figure.
You stay the hell away from my mother.
Some of the writing in this, I mean, it's a TV movie, so whatever. But I really just don't understand, like, why certain things are happening.
Yeah.
Like, because again, this is supposed to show Derek's obsession is growing, right? Like he's not gonna let this fucking go.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, he's cognizant enough to not jeopardize his wife and his kids and all that shit.
Yeah.
So when somebody goes, yo, bro, your fucking wife knows, like, let's say your girlfriend, you kind of go, wait, what'd you say?
Yeah.
And then you kind of get, you know, everything backs down. There is no bigger boner killer on planet Earth than, hey, your wife knows.
Is it possible this story is true? Yes, it is.
Since we're doing scenes now, you be Amy in this situation, and this is Derek's, I'll be Derek, and this is Derek's response.
Did you hear me, Derek? It's over. By the way, your wife knows.
That's cool. Can I lick them feet? Like, he does not give two shits about anything else. He immediately is just like, yeah, that's cool. I just hear, it's like the Charlie Brown teacher noises. And then he's like, yeah, you're really hot. Do you want to go back to my beach house and bang? After this, there's a basketball game. Amy sees the wife in like the stands, so she goes into the locker room. All the lights are turned out. She finds a threatening message written on the mirror. And then after the next away basketball game, the team and cheerleaders stop at a truck stop for like dinner or whatever. And Amy goes outside and wanders about in between the trucks for some strange fucking reason by herself and then gets chased around. We talk about the buddy system a lot. Use the buddy system. What the fuck are we doing? And you're not just outside out front of the windows of like the Waffle House or wherever the fuck you are. You're weaving in and out of semis. Let's forget the stalker for a moment, because there are also creepy truck drivers and truckers that will, I don't know, take you and tie you up and put you in the back of the fucking truck. And then now you're getting sex trafficked. There's so many issues with this whole scene.
Oh, 100%. And my only point of caution when choosing your buddy system is maybe Dana's not the best to go with, because when they're getting onto the bus, Dana's talking to Amy the whole time, right behind her, and literally says, oh, hey, save me a seat.
I am so tired of these out-of-town away games. I'm so hungry by the time we get out of school and we don't get to eat till after the game at that awful truck stop. Hey, save me a seat.
You're behind me. What are you talking about? You didn't stop to talk to somebody else. You didn't drop something. You are right behind me. I'm watching them on the bus as she goes, save me a seat. I'm like, are you fucking Forrest Gump?
I'll be honest. I was like, I didn't realize, like, my question was that her? Because you see him getting on the bus, and I heard the voice, and I'm like, that's Dana's voice. She's behind her. I was like, I don't know, maybe it was somebody else. I just kind of wrote it off, but no, you're right. She's literally behind her, asks her to save the seat.
Fucking Dana's on ayahuasca right now. She's not fit for the buddy system.
She's a dipshit. Amy goes back to Jen. Jen gives her some more great advice, like don't go to the cops and shut your fucking mouth and just break up with Derek. And then after almost getting run off the road one night, we find out that the Night Stalker was Jen, Dana's sister. And dun dun dun, which is like the worst reveal in movie history, TV movie or otherwise.
Oh yeah, well, this is immediately after Amy decides to play Barney Miller for some reason. And she's like, wait a second, I couldn't possibly be the first victim here. Yeah. He had to have dated others. If I can find out who that is, I'll know nothing more about anything. So she goes in and just tries this weird interrogation where it's like, hey man, who was the first? It kind of turns me on. I'm not jealous. I just want to know her name, address, and social security number.
Can you just give me the first letter of her name?
I want to see Amy buying drugs. Hello, please. I'd like some drugs, please. And judging by how white her school is, that is literally the first black person she ever sees. Because there are no black people anywhere in this movie.
No, I know they're in, like, California, but, like, they're not in Watts. That's for goddamn sure. I'm sure this is like a Beverly Hills type fucking 90210 scenario.
A gated community called Whitehaven.
Yes, it was.
After this, Amy finally tells her mother. They go to the cops, and they are the typical inept movie cops. Like, we can't do anything. So Amy's mom then goes to Derek's law office and threatens him. And Derek then, like, leans into his creepiness, and he's like, lawyer words.
I will be forced to take legal action.
First off, the cop says, look, if we investigated every possible harassment charge, and then he just lets it hang there. So what? You'd be doing your job is the end of that sentence. You fuck. My God, dude. This looked like Michael Rappaport with a cleft palate. Like, he looked what happened to this detective? That's what I want to know. That he's just on permanent desk duty. He looks exhausted. He's like, we're understaffed around here. No, you're not. Tell the extras in police uniforms running around behind you. You have plenty of guys just carrying paperwork. Have them, I don't know, help somebody. You fucking jagoffs. And then
Corey's life lessons.
Hi, moms protecting their daughters from older men stalking and harassing them. Uncle Corey here. If you are prepared to actually confront said person who has violated your daughter, and you're like, I'm gonna fucking come and get you. I know now, and it's over. And he's like, oh, legal, lawyer. When you threaten him, you don't go, I'll be the one filing the lawsuit. You go, I'm gonna shove a knife up your fucking pee hole. That's how you end a threat.
I'll be the one taking legal action.
This is the whitest threat ever. This is what what came up in my head was this is how the Gwyneth Paltrow trial started. With this threat.
100%. You hit me when you were skiing, buddy? I'm gonna sue you. No, you won't, buddy. I'm gonna file the lawsuit. Like, Jesus Christ.
So we get the scene here of Amy and Dana breaking into Derek's law office to find out who's trying to kill her. Derek comes in, catches her, and Amy's like, oh, I was just rifling through your things because I wanted to meet up with you at your beach house. And he was like, cool, it's boner time. Like, he doesn't give two shits.
Nope. He's even dropped all romance. Like, he's just stone-faced, like, take off your clothes. I want you now.
Dude, at the very end, so they get to the beach house, and then, so she has this whole thing of like, oh, you know, that person is probably going to be there, so I'm going to set that person up, and yada, yada. And she starts going into this whole, like, what's the chick's first letter of her name, and whatever, and Derek's like,
enough talk. Take off your clothes. I want to look at you.
It's boner time, and you need to get naked.
Yeah.
And then when she doesn't immediately get naked, he's like, are you setting me up?
And why do you keep looking outside? Is there somebody out there?
Fucking Derek, let's goddamn chill for 2 seconds.
Why?
It's because Derek got that shit from Dana, and he is tripping fucking balls now.
Yes. So Amy gets to the beach house. Things don't go as planned. So Amy bounces. And on the way back home, Jen pops up from the back seat, puts a knife to Amy's neck, and makes her drive to the edge of this cliff from before, douses the car in lighter fluid, sets it on fire. There's a bit of a struggle. And then the car goes over the cliff, but not before Amy saves Jen from the burning car. And all is forgiven.
Yep. Square pegs, bro.
That's how this fucking movie ends. Everything is... You saved my life. Why would you do that? I don't know. I just kind of did a thing. And, well, you know what? I'm not going to kill you anymore. Cool. I'm not going to press charges. No, you know how this goes? Where's the knife that you had? Because I'm going to stab you in the fucking eyeballs. That's where this goes.
Oh, this doesn't go further than you being trapped in the back seat. And me pushing that fucking car going, sayonara, bitch! Happy trails, Hans!
Hell yes.
And the fucking best part about this, so it literally cuts from that scene, all is forgiven, and then it cuts to the high school graduation, and everybody's fucking happy, like nobody's traumatized at all, and then cut to the new girls at cheerleading practice, and fucking creepy Creeperson sitting in the stands and watches for his, like, next victim.
And he goes significantly younger because the last girl they focus on is, like, a freshman.
Yes.
Like, she's still wearing pull-ups, maybe. She's so young. You need to back way the fuck off, Epstein.
Dude, this... Another Epstein origin story movie.
Dude, for realsies.
Dude, this movie, I can't
Derek
even say
didn't hang himself.
I can't even say this movie is trash. This was so laughably bad that...
Oh, yeah.
Like, you could put some... if you added slide whistles and some sound effects throughout this movie, this is a comedy.
Oh, it's absurd, and the amount of twists and turns that they try to put in here,
dude,
really forsake everything else that could have possibly been improved, like dialogue, or I don't know, one solid plot line, just one thing that could have actually, you know, been like, damn, you guys put forth an effort.
Yeah,
but this does, like I mentioned, ChatGPT earlier. This looks like you were like, write a fucking teenage drama about an 18-year-old high school student and a fucking 33-year-old lawyer. Go.
Yep.
And it just spit out some shit. Like, no, this was so bad. Like you said, I wasn't even rolling my eyes like I normally do. I was just laughing my ass off.
I laughed throughout this movie. Like,
yeah.
I know here's the thing. We always talk about, you know, writers or directors and, you know, when you're writing this, you're thinking blah, blah. I don't think the writer's writing, maybe I could be wrong. I'm picturing the writer sitting at his, you know, Windows 95 fucking computer and clickety clack. And in his head going, yo, this is a great, like, mystery thriller drama, sexual something or other. This is gonna fucking kill.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he or she thought ahead, like, I don't know, 30 years from now, there's gonna be two schmoes on YouTube going, dude, this is the funniest fucking script I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, look,
needless to say, it doesn't hold up.
No, there's if you're trying to do this, because I get where they're going, right? Sex sells, and salacious sex sells even more.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Here is where you are totally going wrong in two totally different directions. One, way too young, meaning, yes, she's 18, but she's in fucking high school.
Yes.
That is never okay past the age of, let's say, 21. Once you hit 21, if you're still fucking somebody in high school, you need to check yourself real fast. And two, the other fucking way we diverge here is if you are going to have the older man, younger woman kind of thing, that guy needs to be fucking gorgeous.
Yes.
Not like me gorgeous, like Armando fucking gorgeous. Kissed by God himself gorgeous.
Nobody wants a chubby Italian in this role, okay?
No, dude, I had you in there, bro. You're fucking this all up. You're fucking this all up. But no, that's it. Like if your lead guy who is a predator isn't fucking Brad Pitt godlike,
yeah.
What are we talking about here?
Yeah.
And this guy doesn't look like that guy isn't seducing that girl ever.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
No, she's gonna look at him and go, "Ooh, gross."
Yeah. Like she's gonna be like, trim your eyebrows, motherfucker, and get back in her car and leave. Like that's how that scene ends.
Like I know you're 33 and you have a fucking 17-year-old's haircut, but that does not make you sexy. Because what I'm looking at is gross as fuck.
Yeah,
but
dude.
That's all I got. I do appreciate the request. I really do, because I had a really good time watching this piece of shit movie. Mainly because I laughed throughout.
Yeah, I think you're going to start to see for our audience here a little bit of an attitude shift when it comes to some of these movies, because we've seen so many bad movies now.
Yeah. It's
really difficult to be mad at it. It's just what happens.
Yeah.
Hollywood pumps out just dog shit. So, cool. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the ride. I'm not wasting fucking anger over that anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'll just laugh at it from now, especially when it's like this and it's so like oddly just bad. You can't do anything but laugh at it. So, yeah. But that's all I got for this. You got anything else?
No, I'm going to go kick my dog. That's how I'm going to get my anger out.
Well, for Corey, I'm Armando. This is Kiss the Reviews, and this was 1996's Lying Eyes.